certain call when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make it brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. Well, send them your heart so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free, as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall. Well, let's realize, oh, that a change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter.
Hi, my name is Ana Rugamas. I am a Spanish language interpreter. I have a bachelor's degree in international studies. I have a graduate diploma in general interpreting, which is health and legal, and I am a candidate for a master's degree in conference interpreting. I have been interpreting for over 8 years now. I am qualified by the OCCI, which is the Ontario Community Council for Interpreters, and for APLI, which is the Association for Professional Language Interpreters. My role is to be able to be a bridge between the provider and a client. Where there is a language barrier, I'm able to facilitate communication between two people. In every aspect, everybody will feel like they are represented and they have a voice. So it is empowering all parties to be heard and to speak their mind and to be able to be understood in their own language. There are different ways of, yes, there's different slang. There's different ways of speaking Spanish. I am Central American. I am from El Salvador, but I have been in Canada for over 30 years now, and that has given me access, or has given me the ability to meet different people from different backgrounds within Latin America. And so it has given me the opportunity to learn different slangs and to try to understand what their meanings are. So even though, so yes, it can be difficult, but 30 years of being surrounded by Latin Americans from different areas has given me the ability to understand. I think the language barrier has been difficult since before even the immigration, or what we call the waves of immigration, because whenever we think about immigration, we think about, Latin Americans coming in, or we think about people from different continents, but we never think about the European migration. And so we have taken English as being the number one or the language to be able to use for anything that has to do with Canadian or with any transactions or any kind of communication. English is the mother tongue. But in reality, First Nations Canadians didn't speak English. It was actually imposed. So is it new? No. Is it increasingly hard? Absolutely. I think anything is beneficial when we're trying to give different ways of communication. I don't only look at it from the perspective of a language interpreter, I also see it from the privilege of being an able body. And so being able to, or assuming that everybody will be able to read certain signs is very ableist, and it's speaking from a place of privilege. So the more we're able to accommodate different people and different abilities, or I don't want to say disabilities, but different abilities, then I think the better it is for the majority, for the masses, and for the people. Get an interpreter. Don't try to do shortcuts. Make sure that whomever you're trying to speak to feels like you actually care, that you actually care about communicating. And so by you not having an interpreter, what you're going to do is try to pretend to care to communicate. And by getting an interpreter, what you're doing is telling them, I care about your voice, and I also care about being understood. And so everything is clear. So my first thing is, if you don't have it, get an interpreter. Otherwise, get somebody that speaks the language and then communicate that way. Just don't try to guess or try to use different words to try to say or convey a message. There are other interpreters that actually work with people who are deaf, and then so they need sign language. It's equally important because it is giving a person their own agency and empowerment to be able to communicate and to be able to convey a message in a more clearer, in a more professional way. And so yes, there's not only, so interpreters come in different, or we work in different areas. And so we have the language interpreters, as I mentioned, there's the sign language interpreters. And within the interpreters, you also are divided into different areas. You have the legal capacity, which is working in courts or in legal clinics. You have health interpreters who are at hospitals or different clinics. You have conference interpreters. So you have people working at the United Nations being able to share the message, right? Part of also hiring an interpreter is showing that, you know, we care and we value your voice, we value what you have to say, and also breaks down stigmas of, you know, oh, you need to learn it for you to be able to get services, which is borderline racist. And so to be able to avoid that, hire an interpreter.